Welcome back for week 3 predictions. This week we got a lineup of star-studded games. Last week in my predictions, I went 11-5, which was one game better than I did in week 1. That brings my total up to 21-11. So a winning record right now. Let's keep it going. All right, starting the week off hot. Thursday night football, we have the Miami Dolphins against the Buffalo Bills. The Dolphins look like the worst franchise in the entire league. They are a bottomless pit of failure. Mike McDaniels has some issues, it seems like. Tua Tagovailoa does not look very good. Tyreek Hill does not look very good. He's still on the trade watch, in my opinion. But on the other side of the ball, Buffalo looks unstoppable. They pulled off a big win against the Jets. Miami lost to New England. So yeah, give me the Bills here. Easy win. Josh Allen's going to destroy the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. So yeah, let's move on to our Sunday slate. The Los Angeles Rams will take on the Philadelphia Eagles in Lincoln Financial. Both of these teams coming off of wins in week 2. The Eagles pulled off a victory against the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. This game's going to be a really good one. Matthew Stafford's going to keep airing the ball out. The Rams have a very explosive offense and a solid defense. Jared Verse getting in the backfield a whole hell of a lot. Saquon has not been having a great year so far. He ran for 80 in week 2 and 60 in week 1. It could be the other way around. I don't know. I could have that switched up. Give me the Eagles. I think Saquon's going to figure it out. He's going to rush for over 100 yards. And I think maybe Matthew Stafford throws a couple interceptions. I don't think the Rams are going to pull this one off. The Bengals will take on the Minnesota Vikings in an absolutely star-studded, once-in-a-lifetime quarterback competition between Jake Browning and Carson Wentz. Who do I have in this game? I think the Cincinnati Bengals will come out on top. I've seen a lot of Carson Wentz ball in my day. To know how he plays, you will see some awful quarterback play, probably one of the worst quarterback decisions you have ever seen out of the guy, and then the next drive, he will make one of the most amazing quarterback plays you will ever see. Carson Wentz, a very unpredictable quarterback. Jake Browning, on the other hand, defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars last weekend. Obviously, Joe Burrow is out. I made a video yesterday on some options that the Bengals could pursue other than Jake Browning, but right now it looks like Jake Browning will be the starter in the near future, and he looks good. I think he can deliver the ball well, especially with the weapons he has on his team like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So yeah, I think the Bengals will move to 3-0 and defeat the Minnesota Vikings. The Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars, both of these teams lost in week 2. Texans O-line is still awful. The defense doesn't look good. Houston's not looking so hot right now. However, Jacksonville, on the other hand, had a big win in week 1 against the Panthers, lost in week 2 to Jake Browning, like I had said. That game was pretty close. Jacksonville could have won that game. On the other hand, Houston did lose to Tampa Bay in an extremely close game. Things could have gone either way there. Offensively, the line is just not holding up, and CJ Stroud needs protection. If he can't get it, then they're not going to pull off these wins. Give me Jacksonville. Next, we have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are 0-2 to the Colts 2-0. The Colts look unstoppable. The offense looks great. The defense looks great. Tyler Warren, Daniel Jones, Michael Pittman. Get this team to the Super Bowl now. Tennessee, on the other hand, not a great roster. Cam Ward looks awesome, but without a team around him, he still can't do anything. Give me Indianapolis. Next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Washington Commanders. Jane Daniels is questionable for this game, so we might have a little bit of Marcus Mariota action in there that could sway things, how the game goes. Austin Eckler is officially out, which will promote Bill Krosky-Merritt. I am starting him finally in fantasy this week. I think he could pop off and do some things. Ashton Jeanty on the other side of the ball. I think this will be a duel of rookie running backs, see who the better running back is. Obviously, I think Ashton Jeanty's the better running back, but I think Washington has a more complete team. Their defense looks great. Their O-line looks good. Las Vegas, Max Crosby is the only good player on that team. Other than Kenny Pickett. So give me the Washington Commanders. Atlanta Falcons in a divisional matchup against the Carolina Panthers. Falcons' big win against Minnesota this week. The Panthers are still 0-2. I slept on Atlanta last week. I thought that they were going to lose to the Vikings, but they pulled off a win I don't think that their win against Minnesota truly reflects that the team was good. I think it just more reflects how poorly the Vikings played. Carolina needs a win. Bryce Young isn't playing great, but they've got a lot of stars. I think they could pull off an upset. Give me the Carolina Panthers at home. Next, we have my Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the New England Patriots. Steelers lost in week 2 against the Seahawks. The Seahawks offense and defense both looked great, and the Steelers defense looks rough. The run game is getting better. There was a big play from Jaylen Warren last week, so he looks pretty good. Hopefully we can continue to progress that. Big mess up on special teams that really cost that game for us. Seattle was just doing everything great. Can they bounce back against the Patriots? The Patriots did win in week 2 against the Dolphins. The thing here that I see is that the Steelers had a few problems, specific plays that could have gone another way that potentially could have gotten the Steelers a win against the Seahawks. However, on the other side of the balls, the Patriots were playing the Dolphins. Like I said earlier, are one of the worst teams I have ever seen. The game was actually close. Drake May is good. Is the team around him good? We don't know. Potentially not if they made the Dolphins look that much better than the Dolphins truly are. Give me the Steelers again. We have the Green Bay Packers against the Cleveland Browns. Not a tough game to predict here. The Cleveland Browns look awful, and the Green Bay Packers look like the best team in the NFC, so give me the Packers. We have the New York Jets taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Justin Fields is ruled out of this game, so Tyrod Taylor will be the starter. Tampa Bay coming off a big win. Baker Mayfield led them to a victory against Atlanta on Monday Night Football this week. Yeah, the Bucs look strong. The Giants don't look that strong. I think the Giants looked so good in week 1 because of how bad the Steelers defense is playing this year. Obviously, against the Bills, they only put up 3 points, I think. They were really bad against the Bills. I think they will continue that streak, and give me the Buccaneers. We have the Denver Broncos in a divisional matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm very interested to see how this one goes. Right now, the Chargers look to be at the top of the AFC. The Chargers look phenomenal. The run game is stacked. The passing game is even better. The receivers are finally playing. The defense looks crazy. Derwin James was out there playing D-tackle at one point, and he was chasing him down. Denver, tough loss against the Colts. It was a pretty close game. Denver Broncos still have a really, really good defense. So we'll see if the Chargers can continue to dominate in their division, and I think they will. Give me the Chargers. We have the New Orleans Saints against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks coming off a big dub against the Steelers, and the Saints continue to slide. I did see an interesting thing this morning. I don't know if it was real. It said something along the lines of Spencer Rattler being the 9th statistically best quarterback this season so far. That could be true. I'm not a big stats guy. I don't really go through them. I did see that. In my opinion, I don't think the Saints have a good team in any sense. The defense is bad. The O-line is bad. The offense is bad. The run game and pass game are both bad. On the other side of the ball, Seattle looks like they have a chip on their shoulder. Their defense looks great. Run game, offense. It's complete opposites when I look at these two teams. Give me the Seahawks handedly. Dallas and Chicago. I actually think this game will be a really good game. Cowboys barely beat the Giants in overtime. It was a classic game. Unbelievable. Dak and Russ were just throwing piss missiles all fourth quarter. Chicago, on the other hand, got blown out by their divisional rival, the Lions. They looked like bums. So yeah, basically just the way I see things, how things are going right now, the way the momentum is for both teams, give me the Cowboys. Another divisional matchup, we have the Arizona Cardinals, who are 2-0 against the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know who will be playing quarterback for the 49ers in this game. It might be Brock Purdy. It could just be Mac Jones starting the entire game. It doesn't matter. If you have Kyle Shanahan as your head coach, it doesn't matter what quarterback you have. It doesn't matter what running back you have. It doesn't matter the pieces that you have on the field. As long as you have Shanahan, you will pull off the win. The records show that Arizona should be the better team. However, the Arizona Cardinals only beat the Saints and the Panthers, who are bad teams. So I'm not going to think too much about this one. Give me the 49ers. We have Kansas City against the New York Giants. Both of these teams are 0-2 and looking for that first win. Russell Wilson was throwing piss missiles, like I said earlier, against the Cowboys. Couldn't pull it off in the end, but he looked like prime 2013 Russell Wilson. If the Giants can return in that form, if Russell Wilson can return in that form against the Chiefs this week, they have a really good chance to pull off the upset here. I do believe they're in MetLife, so they have the home field advantage, and the Chiefs are on kind of a slide right now. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, and we can't overthink about that too much. They have yet to win a game this season, but they did lose to the Chargers and the Eagles, who are both teams that look playoff/Super Bowl bound this year. Not putting too much on the Chiefs right now. I think they will pull off this win. I think it'll be an easy win. The Giants don't look great. But if Russell Wilson can return to his prime for another week in a row, then they could pull off an upset here. But I'm not banking on it. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs. And finally, Monday Night Football, we have my game of the week. We have Detroit Lions taking on the Baltimore Ravens. These teams look like 1A and 1B when it comes to who the best two teams are in the NFL. If I had to predict the Super Bowl, I mean, Detroit and Baltimore is pretty good odds on favorites to be those two teams. But here they are in week 3 going off against each other. We have Jared Goff looking to prove that it wasn't just the Bears that were awful. It's that they are still the Lions and that they can win games dominantly like they did all season last year and like they did in week 2 against the Bears. Baltimore, on the other hand, coming off a win against the Browns. Not a hard game to win there against the Browns, and it was pretty close. Right now, I think that Detroit just looks better. I'm not a Ravens fan, clearly. I hate the Ravens, and I hate Lamar Jackson. And I'm going to continue to bet against them, and they're going to prove me wrong as many times as they can this season. So give me Detroit on Monday Night Football to end out the week. All right, thank you for watching another sweaty edition of Weekly NFL Predictions. I am completely soaked. You probably can't. Yeah, look at that glistening. That's my arm. Do you see the glisten? I'm sweating balls. Catch you guys next week for some more videos. Thanks for watching yet again. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever you got to do to help your boy out. And yeah, thank you guys. Later.